Most live poker players keep making the same expensive mistakes at 1-2 and 1-3 without ever spotting them. Coaching dozens of struggling players, I found 5 common leaks that once fixed flipped their results fast. So in this video, I'll show you what to change and how to make 2026 your biggest and most profitable year yet. The first mistake I see all the time drains most players' bankrolls without them even realizing it. Here's how I helped one of my students fix this issue. He brought me a hand where there was a limp at a 1-2 game and my student raised King-Jack offsuit in the hijack. He made it 15, which is a great size to isolate a passive limper. But then the button, who is an aggressive player, raised to $45. Everyone else folded, including the limper. My student suspected that this opponent was pushing buttons, but he wasn't comfortable 4-betting because it would mean risking nearly a third of his stack. So instead, he called. He told me that he even thought he could be ahead of the button's range and could get all his money if he flopped big. However, this approach has several problems. 1. Flopping big would mean having 2 pair or better, and this only happens just over 2% of the time. 2. He is out of position against an aggressive player, which is not a great spot to be in. 3. His hand might be dominated if villain has pocket kings, king queen or jacks. And 4. He's paying a lot of money just to see a flop. Even in GTO land, where you would have only invested 2 big blinds, this would be a losing call. Now, after my student made it 7.5 big blinds pre-flop, he was then raised to 22.5 big blinds, so calling in this spot is a big mistake. And this is, although here we're dealing with an aggressive opponent, but a lot of players feel that they can't fold even when a nit 3-bets them. I'm not saying you should always fold to 3-bets, but you have to pick your battles. I would start by using a strong range of hands to call with. In many cases, I'd rather 4-bet than call the 3-bet. But at live low stakes, folding is usually your best friend when you face a lot of aggression. The first change I would make if you want to make 2026 your best poker year is to avoid calling offsuit and dominated hands out of position to 3-bets. And you also have to know how to exploit players at the table, so I've put together a free cheat sheet called Exploit Every Player Type to do just that, link below. And the second leak to fix in 2026 is a cousin to the first tip, but here it's less about the type of hand you have and more about your chances to win. Let's say we have King-Jack offsuit again, but this time on the button. Instead of a limp ahead of us, there is now a raise to $15. Pretty much all of my students would call in this spot. They have a decent hand and are guaranteed to have position post-flop. But again, this is the worst option. Even if the raise had been $5 instead of $15, I wouldn't like a cold call. It's not so much because someone behind could squeeze, although that is also a consideration. The main reason is that in high rake environments like 1-2 or 1-3 games, where the card room often takes more than 10% of the pot straight away on the flop, this is simply not profitable. Yes, even if you have an edge over your opponent, you can't expect to recover more than you invest in the long run. What if we have a hand like pocket 4s instead? It would be slightly better, but I still don't love it because it's still quite expensive. This could work if your opponent is the type of player who can't let go of a big pocket pair even if you raise him on the flop or the turn. But if your opponent is not of that type, it will again be tricky to make money. If we have a good chance of getting this pot multi-way, then I would totally be on board with calling with a hand like pocket 4s. But I would definitely not call with a hand like King-Jack offsuit that plays terribly multi-way. So the second change I would make if you want to make 2026 your best poker year is to call a lot less. Play a 3-bet or fold strategy in any position except for the big blind. This next one is a favorite of mine and a very common mistake. It happens both to unstudied players and to players who have studied but misapply the theoretical concept of value betting. Here's a perfect example. Under the gun limps, low jack raises to 10 and there is one call. You make it 40 with pocket 10s in the cutoff. So far, I love this. We do exactly what I wanted earlier. We play 3-bet or fold and won't call behind. The limper folds, the other two players both call. The pot is now 125 before rake. The flop comes 984 rainbow. We continue with a $50 bet and only the initial raiser calls. The turn is an offsuit deuce. We can go for value here, so I'm okay with this $125 bet into a pot of 225, although it is already somewhat thin. But the mistake happens on the river. This river card is another 9, pairing the top card. When villain checks, hero now bets again, this time for his remaining $185. If you're up against a really weak calling station who will call with pocket 7s or ace 8, then by all means fire this bet. But against everyone else, this is a clear check behind. If we check here, we have a chance of winning the pot. I'd say it's still not huge because villain can have jacks, queens, and sometimes slow played kings and even aces. Of course, he could also have a 9. If we bet now and we don't expect him to call a triple barrel with an underpair or weak pair, tell me one hand that we are ahead of when he calls our bet. I can't think of any. When thinking about betting on the river, always think about the two reasons for betting there. A, to get a weaker hand to call, and B, to get a better hand to fold. If neither of these applies, like in this example, then just check behind. Otherwise, you commit a costly polarization mistake. The next change you have to make is to play in a more simple and straightforward way. Let me show you what I mean. Say you call pocket 4s in the small blind after 4 players call the raise from early position. The big blind calls as well. We go 7 ways to the flop. Yay, this is live low stakes poker deluxe. The flop is ace queen 4 rainbow. This is a great flop for us. We want to put as much money in the middle as possible. How do we do that? Well, certainly not by checking and calling. We should be betting and raising. I don't hate the check here because it is likely one of the other 6 players will either bet an ace or take a stab with some nonsense. But I prefer a bet here because it's likely that we get a few calls. But if we do check and the original raiser bets small and 2 players call, we have to raise. But hero calls in this one. But not all is lost because we still have 2 streets to get some value. The turn is an offsuit deuce. We check again. The original raiser now bets a bit bigger. 1 player in between calls. Not raising in this spot is criminal. Yet hero goes for the call again. The river is another queen. We check, it checks through. We win against ace king and ace 10. But how much do we win? The minimum. I'm confident at least one of these players would have called a check raise on the flop or turn. But we sandbagged our set and waited for these players to either bluff or value bet thinly. Both of those things are not something low stakes players like to do in multi-way pots. The main mistake players make post flop is calling too much, not bluffing too much or value betting too much. Do yourself a favor and eliminate slow playing from your weapons arsenal. And look, if spots like this sometimes leave you unsure when to go for max value, when to slow down, or when someone is just never folding, I put together a simple cheat sheet that will help. It shows you exactly how to exploit every player type at your table. Link in the description below. But back to multi-way pots. Because these happen so often at live low stakes, the last change you have to make is the most important one. Most advice out there is designed for heads up pots, so even good players often feel lost in these multi-way situations. Like our hero in this hand. He raises ace-jack suited and gets called by 4 players. The flop comes jack-6 deuce with 2 hearts. Hero bets small and gets called by 2 players. The turn is a 4. Hero goes for value again. Now the big blind check raises. Hero is understandably a bit confused, but he calls. The river is an offsuit 9. The big blind goes all in now. Hero doesn't love it, but calls because the flush draw missed. Villain quickly turns over pocket 4s for a turn set. What was going on here? Players at low stakes tend to call too much and bluff too little. We see this perfectly with this opponent. He called a flop bet with a low pocket pair even though there was a bet and a caller ahead of him. He didn't bluff though. And then, when he hit a set, he started playing his hand super fast. What can we learn from that? Two things. One, bet for value with good hands like a good top pair or better. And the second one, and this is the change that you have to make to crush live poker in 2026, fold to aggression, especially in multi-way pots and especially on the turn. And then there is a sixth thing you have to do to make 2026 your best year ever. You have to learn the one quick exploit that crushes most recreational players. To find out what it is, watch this video next.